Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about things in Pokemon that just really don't make sense. And I know that's kind of a weird sentence, things in Pokemon, a fictional game where you run around and catch mice that can shoot electricity and dragons and, all kinds of crazy creatures, fire, turtles, all kinds of weird stuff. So it seems weird to say, well, this doesn't make sense. Well, the entire world doesn't make sense. But hear me out. There actually is some things in the Pokemon world that, like, even in the context of it being a fictional world, just really don't make sense. So first off, we have egg groups and just eggs in general, really. So the thing about egg groups is that each Pokemon has one. Some Pokemon, it's unknown what their egg group is, but each Pokemon has like an egg group, and basically they can breed with Pokemon in this egg group. And for a lot of this makes sense. It makes sense that my Staraptor would not only be able to breed with other Staraptor, but also could be bred with a Pidgeot as well. That makes sense. They're both birds. It gets weird though. You have Skitty and you have Wailord or Wailord. I was trying to mix the two there and say Wailord, which maybe that's like an evolution that's coming. I don't know. But Skitty and Wailord, come on now. That's a cat and a whale. I don't want to think about that. But it's a thing in Pokemon. You throw your Skitty in the daycare, you throw your Wailord in the daycare, they will produce an egg, and there's a lot to unpack there. Like, I seriously, I don't even know how to have a discussion about this one. This is just like, wow. Now, the second thing that's so weird about eggs is that no one's ever seen an egg be made. Like, they always say at the daycare, oh, we don't know how it happened, but your Pokemon was holding an egg. Professor Elm studies eggs and, that kind of thing. And yet, he doesn't even know how they come about. I feel like they're not looking hard enough. Either that or they're lying. And they're like, well, we know how they come out, but we don't want to talk about it. I don't know if, like, reproduction is just a lost concept in the world of Pokemon and they just don't want to discuss it. But, yeah, just when you get into eggs and Pokemon, there is a lot to unpack. So, eggs, they just don't make sense. Now, next we have some kind of movesets of Pokemon. It's weird some of the moves these things can learn. It obviously makes sense that a Pokemon would be able to learn things outside of its moveset. Like, for example, Charmander. Charmander obviously can learn a lot of fire attacks because it's a fire-type Pokemon, but it also learns Scratch. Well, that totally makes sense. It's got claws. It can scratch. That makes sense. There's other examples of it, like Gardevoir, it's a psychic type, so I could see how it could conjure up like a shadow ball and send it out, but then we start to get to things like Dodrio can learn fly. How does Dodrio fly? And the flip side of that is Scyther cannot learn fly. Again, very odd. That doesn't make sense to me. And then you get into other weird things with Pokemon moves. Like, you have the fact that, Pidgey can learn fly. Well, one thing fly allows you to do is it allows you to fly from place to place. It allows your Pokemon to carry you to other destinations throughout the region you're in. Well, how does a Pidgey carry me? I get that, in the games I'm 10, but that still just doesn't feel like it should be possible, I'm not gonna lie. And then we have things like Cut, Rock Smash. Only the move Rock Smash can smash rocks. If I fire a Hyper Beam at a rock, it'll do nothing. If I fire a Mega Punch at a rock, it'll do nothing. With these trees, only Cut will work. I can't use Metal Claw or Slash or Psycho Cut, Aqua Cutter, things that have Cut in the name. No. Only Cut, and that's just very strange to me. Why do these trees and rocks need only that to, be cut down? And then you even get into the things of, like, you physically cannot use moves unless you have a badge, and that's a whole nother can of worms. I chalked that up to, like, legally. Like, legally you cannot use fly, it's too dangerous. unless you have 5 badges or however many badges, because then we deem, okay, it's probably safe enough for you to use. That's how I interpret that one. But either way, all the movesets in Pokemon are really weird. Elgyem learns Steel Wing. That's really freaking weird. Now, next we have some Pokemon battles. I love that you can dive in Hoenn. In Hoenn, you can also in Unova, but in Hoenn you can dive and even find wild Pokemon like Chinchou from diving in Hoenn and encountering wild Pokemon. But the weird thing is, I can dive, I can encounter a wild Pokemon, and I can send out my Charizard underwater to fight this Chinchou. Now, the anime has made one thing clear to me, and that's if Charizard's flame goes out, it dies. So I don't think Charizard would function underwater. You also even have, like, even if it could function underwater, Torkoal, you know, it's not going to be moving fast. There should be some kind of hindrance to it being underwater. You know, you'd think that dive would make you have to use water-type Pokemon, like you're only using your Pokemon that's using dive. You know, that would make a lot more sense to me. You then have things like Sky Battles. Now, in X and Y, Sky Battles really are limited to Pokemon that like are flying or levitating. But then in Oris, when you're flying around on Latios or Latios, depending on the version you're playing, you can encounter wild Pokemon in the sky and then send out your Swampert to battle them. So you just have your non-flying Pokemon just hovering in air. You know, I mean, imagine being in Mos Deep, you're chilling, you're hanging out, you just got to go to the space station. That was really cool. And then you just look up and you just see a Swampert up there, just hovering, battling. That's weird. That's really weird. Now, for this last one, we have some Pokemon that I really feel like, I guess, while they make sense, no, they don't. They don't make sense at all. Like Magcargo. Magcargo is by the Dex's, you know, I guess, entry, that's what the term we use, Magcargo is way too hot to even be near a human. It's like as hot as the sun, and yet we can be near it. And now, you could trace this back to the anime, where we see that Ponyta can control, like, its flames, who it hurts. So, Magcargo, sure, maybe Magcargo can make it where his heat does not hurt me, its trainer. But it still should, like, if I send Magcargo out against another trainer, just by being near Magcargo, that trainer instantly dies. And then you have even the environment. The environment should be very heavily impacted by Magcargo, but it's not. All these things just really, really weird. And you even have some Pokemon that, like, while they do make sense, they probably should be hunted to extinction. You know, like, things like, I love it to death, one of my favorite Pokemon, but Gengar. Everything we know about Gengar just talks about how it will, like, hunt you down. It's like, you know, oh, if you feel a chill, that's a Gengar. There's no escape. You're gonna die. And I kind of feel like at some point we should go, okay, we need to do something about these ghost Pokemon, or we need to do something about these Gengar. We need to do something about these Gyarados. Why do we keep situating villages on the lakes of these Gyarados? That seems like a dumb plan. We know they destroy lakes. It's in, like, every single Dex entry about them. Why are we doing this? But again, there are my things, my nitpicky things about the Pokemon world that just really don't make sense. Again, in a world that is not supposed to make sense, these things just really, really do not make sense. I'd love to hear in the comments some things that you don't think make sense about the Pokemon world. Believe you me, there is plenty. I could have made this an hour-long video if I wanted to, but I won't keep y'all for that long. So let me know your things in the comments below. And also, be sure to let me know your explainers for these if you do indeed have any. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss fun videos like these, and then our theory videos, just all kinds of stuff we do on here. You can also find me on the Hidden Power podcast, where I'm a co-host with Dusty Go-Goat and Soul Silver Art. We talk about Pokemon things there, and also on LumioseTower, which is my competitive channel. We do competitive discussions and battles. It's a lot of fun, so you can check those two things out. They're also in the description under more of Lumi. So, yeah, be sure to check those out. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff. And until next time, I will see all of you later.